First cupkc, unique, hustle hard music. Yeah, First cupkc, start your day off with a cup of Joe and positive convo. First cupkc, shine a light on the ones that work hard from Kansas to the Mo. First cupkc, motivate, educate, inspire the youth to be great. First cupkc, believe in yourself is the key to make a change. It's never too late. First cupkc. This broadcast is a No Solutions podcast production. Yeah.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today on the show, we have a very, very special couple. I like to call them a power couple because pretty much a lot of the aspects of their life, they do it together. Raise kids together and they raise livestock together. So give a warm welcome for Heather and Tim VanLeeuwen.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Welcome. How you guys been? You guys drove what?
Well, hour and a half. Yeah.
Hour and a
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. You guys are the farthest guests that I've had so far.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it was a drive, but it wasn't bad though. It was just straight shot for us. So
Yeah,
not too bad.
I like it. Well, thank you for being the very first guest on the show.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks for having us.
Yeah, we feel honored. Thank you for having us. Yeah.
I think this was a good idea because, like I was telling you post-show or pre-show, I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska. So there's a lot of farms around me. So the farming life, I've seen it. I've even been able to just go into the backyard of one of the farmers, and we were always able to get as much corn as we wanted.
Yeah.
Right off the back of the field. So we would catch fish down at the lake and fry fish and eat corn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's an honor to have you guys on the show, and thank you for driving down here and spending a little bit of time with us today.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about your family and how you guys got into farming.
Well, Heather and I have been married for about 16 years. We got married right out of high school. We moved kind of up towards the Wichita, Kansas area. I started working in aircraft up there. Heather went to school for massage therapy, actually.
Ran my own business for a little while doing that, my own day spa.
Yep,
What's
Heather.
that called?
Natural Healing Day Spa. And so I had my own business there in El Dorado, did that for a couple of years. And then we bought the first farm, bought our first 40 acres.
So you bought 40 acres, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
40 acres. That's a good start.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
So
Yes.
aircrafting, before we even get into farming,
Okay.
I want to touch a little bit on this aircrafting. You said aircrafting. Where'd
Yep.
you go to school for the aircrafting?
well, actually, I didn't even go to school for it. I just got lucky and got a job at
You learned
at
hands-on.
one of the aircraft companies and learned hands-on. And now I've been in aircraft for about, except for, a couple of years where there were some layoffs, I've been in aircraft for about 14 years now. So that's been good to me. Sure, it's one of the best careers in the Wichita area for sure. And they employ a ton of people in aircraft because we worked on all the Boeing planes and all that. So, but Heather and I both grew up on farms.
Right.
Heather's parents have cattle. My parents have cattle. We've always been around that as youngsters, and so that's something that we wanted to continue. So we actually bought our first 40 acres when we were just about 20 years old.
Man.
And so that's really where we got started, was that first 40 acre piece of land. And so we actually, it's a funny story now. It wasn't all that funny at the time, but we actually lived in our camper on that 40 acres for about 4 years until we saved up enough money to build a house out there.
Hey,
And so,
Mom, so now you can't say nothing because these guys lived in their camper for how long?
4 years.
About 4
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, we
Yep.
roughed it for 4 years out
and
there.
it was rough.
Yeah, it was rough. Like
You guys
winters
did
were
what,
rough.
like 4 months, 5 months, maybe 6 months or more. I don't know, but 4 years. years, man.
4 years. It was rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
And winters were rough.
And
like
that's
it.
what,
Yeah.
same thing with them.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
They just bought. They got 42 acres.
Oh yeah.
And they have like 25 acres on one side of a road and 20 on the other. And they were having a house. They were waiting on their house to be moved up, and they put a slab down, had their house waiting on it, and waiting, and the whole time they had to stay in that camper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Started out wonderful, yes.
Yeah.
By the end of it, they were like,
it was only wonderful a month, wasn't it, Tim? We were like,
Oh yeah, we moved out there at like in like the end of October, and
then winter hit.
and we wasn't prepared.
Game
no
over.
kids at that
No
moment.
kids.
No kids at that time. I don't think
No.
we could have done it if
No.
we had kids at that time. But
No way.
rough.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you have kids now.
We do.
we do.
Yeah.
We have two little boys. We have one son that's almost 5. He's gonna be 5 in July. We have another little boy that's about 2.5.
Jason and Noah. Jason's our oldest. Noah's the baby. Yeah.
Jason and Noah.
Yeah.
Lucky 2 boys that's going to take over the family farm.
Yeah.
We hope
that's-
so.
that's the
We hope
plan.
so. That's
Yeah.
the plan for them. Yes.
Well, just be good influences, and
Yes.
man, you know,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
these kids nowadays, they don't understand the moral and value because the parents before they lack that, and when you
Right.
lack it, you know they're gonna lack it.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I grew up a little different, so my
Right.
kid, he lacks a lot, and that's because of that bad parenting during that time. So as long as you guys do that, man, you got a wonderful heritage going.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And that's-
great job.
that's
getting started.
I
Yeah.
just kind of wanted to say that's the main reason why we do this, is because
Yeah.
we
Kids,
Yeah.
want to be able to pass that down to our kids. That's important for us. Is that our kids and their kids can continue this, long past our days.
Plant seeds now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
you won't see the big
Yeah.
tree afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, buying the land like up front, like what we're having to do, it's a lot, like up front, cost. And so if we can kind of pave the way, like for the boys and then the next generation down, like so they don't have that cost up front, like that's what it's all
Yeah.
about, is passing that down.
I mean, that's the biggest. That's the hardest thing about farming is if you have to buy that land for the first time as first generation owners of that farm or farms, it takes a lot just to pay for that farm, let alone make a profit or make any money off of it. Just getting that farm paid for, in the first generation is a win, for most people. So,
Yeah.
and so if our kids can get off on a head start, that'll kind of pave the way for the future generations of our family anyways.
It just makes it easier for them to live. And, I used to say all the time, oh, those rich people, they think they're this and they think they're that. And it's like, they might think they're this and that, but guess what? They're living that way because someone before them went through hell
right.
to make sure
Yeah.
that they had it.
Yeah.
So, that gave me a little more better perspective of it, and I started seeing it in a different light. So why farming? Was it because your parents both did it and you just knew that this was something that would create generational wealth?
We just bought, like when we first bought that first 40, like we honestly just went in it like as just a fun property. Like we didn't even have cattle out there on it. Like the first couple of years we owned it, and we were like, yeah, it's just a fun property. We just wanted to like ride our ATVs, ride our horses, just have fun. Like we were young, we were in our 20s, and we're like, yeah, we don't want to do this, and so we didn't have any like clue really like in what we were going to do with it. And then it just kind of happened, then like we were honestly kind of like forced to like get into that hustle mode and like think like, how can we make money off this farm? And like what led us to the cattle was our first son, because we had to do IVF to get pregnant with him. And so we were like, how are we going to get $20,000 to pay for this procedure to have this baby? So we got cattle. And so we started out like just running stockers out there on the farm to pay for that. So that's kind of how it like got started right there, was just, we're going to do these starker cattle here, these steers, we're going to sell them to the sell barn. And then it progressed, from there. Yeah.
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
How goals,
Yeah.
one goal
Yeah.
Progresses to another goal, progresses to even something bigger. Man, I salute you guys for even jumping into it, because I know you guys had to know jumping into it. Once you get in it, man, it's just
There's no turning back.
Yeah, you know you went for some work.
Yeah.
So, and like you said, you work during the day, and then you got to get off work, and you got to go through all that process, man.
Yeah.
It's like, when does your day really end?
It doesn't end because, you know, at the job I'm at now, we're working 60 hours a week, you know, 10-hour days, 6 days a week. And so it doesn't really allow you much time to get done what you need to do. So, like, yesterday was Sunday. You know, I know Sunday is supposed to be a day of rest, but there's stuff that we had to get done. And I was actually out at the farm until like 9:30 last night. You know, it was getting dark on it actually was dark when I left, you know, because I had to get in as much as I could during the time that I could, you know. So it is a never-ending job, but, you know, we love it, and there's something about it that keeps that drive in us that want to keep going.
We try to work it, you know, together. Like, for instance, like if he's at work and there's cows out there that need checked on or watered or fed, then I'll pick up and I take the boys out, you know, and we do that. And then he'll come in, you know, after he gets off work, and then he'll make the second round, you know, out there with the cattle. And that's just what we have to do right now, you know, to get her done. You know, we have to work like that. And then wintertime, then I'll have to bust ice in the morning, and he'll come in again in the evening, you know, and take care of it. And that's how we have to do it.
Super couple, man.
Yeah.
It's called power.
Yeah. We love it, though.
Under power strength. Tell us a little bit about the process of the farm from start to finish. So you buy a steer, cattle. Do you buy them babies? Do you breed them? How do you do it?
Well, so like Heather said, we started out raising stocker cattle, which is you buy cattle from the local livestock auction that are about, you know, 400 to 500 pounds, and you grow them until they're about 800 pounds, and you resell them. We did that for a little while, and then we wanted to get more into what's called cow-calf operation, which is you actually keep your cows to breed. You breed them with the bull, and you get the calves out of them every year. And so we did that for a few years, and then once the calves get big enough, you sell them to the sale barn. But it just kind of happened that some guys from work had been asking me if they could buy some steers from us for butcher beef. And, you know, that kind of is really what put the idea in our head, because not a lot of people that we knew did that at the time. None of our family ever did it. They just did it the old way, which is sell your cattle to the livestock auction, you know.
Quick sale.
Right.
And so that's kind of how we got started in the butcher beef business. And so we will take those calves that we get every year from our adult cattle, and it takes about 2 years to grow those calves to where they're big enough to butcher. Mm-hmm. And so once that cow has that calf, for about the first 7 to 8 months, that calf is, we call it sucking on their mama, but that calf is drinking milk from the mama and eating some grass too. After that, when you wean them off, which is, you know, pulling them away from the mamas, so that mama can have her next calf.
Pulling her away from the booty.
Yep.
We gonna keep it clean for y'all, the booty.
Yep. Pulling the tit out of the mouth, so to speak, you know. But and then that calf goes on to graze grass for about till about 6 months before butcher time. And so about 6 months, you know, about 180 days is typically how long we finish them out for. We will incorporate organic feed. And so those calves...
Yeah, organic, people, organic.
Yes, yep, for sure, organic. And so those calves that started out little now weigh about 800 pounds or so. And so about the last 6 months or 180 days, they're still out on grass. They still graze grass every day, but we bring them in each day and we feed them that organic feed, and then we put them right back out to grass. So they're getting their grass for the day. They're getting their organic grain for the day. And,
they're not pinned up. They're getting their exercise and everything. They're moving.
Free-ranging.
Right.
Yeah. So we never pin our steers up.
Hey man, in
because
Kansas. That's what we do.
It's what the typical feedlot beef is. They're in a pinned up lot with a couple hundred other cattle.
Yeah, stressed.
They're stressed. They may be walking through a foot of mud at times. Depending on rain and all that, and it's just not the healthiest way to
raise them.
To raise them, and
but
so
they say you are what you eat, and if you're eating a stressed animal, you're gonna be stressed.
Right.
So trust me, man, I get it. What about, have you guys ever thought about, and the only reason why I'm asking this question is because while I was looking through your platforms and stuff, I ran across another company by the same name, but it's not from here, it's from the Netherlands, and it's the
dairy cow.
VanLeeuwen dairy.
Yeah.
You ever thought about producing dairy milk and stuff?
We get asked all the time at the farmers market for just raw, unpastured milk. And that's a common question that we get all the time. Like, do you guys have milk? And we're like, maybe we should get milk. So now it's in the back of our head, like maybe we need to do, milk. We haven't, done too much research, honestly, like on it, and checked into it. We don't know anything about, milk, honestly, but we get asked that question all the time.
So in Nebraska, they got a lot of dairy farms, and a lot of those dairy farms started out as just selling steer. And, next thing you know, they get a government loan to bring in this processing system to where they can start processing dairy milk. And now you got a whole dairy section making ice cream, and I mean that's why I asked, because I know you guys are first generation,
right?
First, let me say that, first generation. A lot of times you come in here with work off someone else's back, but this right here, this is the beginning,
right?
Of the back.
Yeah,
you guys are the back,
right?
So I applaud you on that, man. Explain a little bit about this biodiversity and regenerative farming farm management system.
Well, so the common, what we call conventional farming is whether it be crops or raising livestock is, if you're crop farming, you'll plant the seeds, but then you spray it with every chemical under the sun. They spray it with herbicides to kill weeds. They spray it with pesticides to kill the bugs. They spray it with fungicides.
To stop the bugs from the water, from the rain. Exactly.
And it's a never-ending cycle of needs, to nurture that plant, whereas regenerative farming uses nature to do all the work. Of course, there's some human elements to manage that, but we don't use any herbicides. We use no pesticides or fungicides. Everything we do is organic and by nature. So everything in nature has a place, whether that's a weed, whether that's earthworms or microbiology. The microbiology in the soil could be anything from an earthworm to microscopic organisms that you have to look at under a microscope.
Yeah.
And everything works together. Everything has a place. And if we just stop fighting nature and work with nature instead, let nature do what it does, it's a much healthier food system. It's a much healthier.
There's money to be made, Tim.
It was kind of, like our job, like it's a little bit more, I think in depth, like what we're doing, because we have to try to figure it out, like, okay,
You guys are doing it.
like why is this weed here, and how do we, get around that, or how do we build our soil health, and all that. That's more of Tim's area, there, that he does, with rotating those cattle in those paddocks and everything else, and knowing how far to graze the grass and everything. That's where his expertise, comes in there.
That's awesome.
And why we do that, is because we want a clean product, there, and we don't want to have to use these things that can cause cancer, to us, and we're ingesting it.
Mm-hmm. And we won't know for years,
right,
what it's doing to us.
Exactly.
So
right.
I applaud you. I applaud you for even caring, because nowadays it's always about the money.
Right.
Everyone's just money, 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 and they forget the more money they make, they start forgetting about the quality.
Yep.
It is. And I'll tell you this, and I'm constantly researching this stuff. It's, you almost have to be a scientist to understand microbiology and all of this stuff. But
for you to care about that, though, enough to do your research, it says a lot about what type of product you're trying to put out here. So
yes, so kind of what Heather was saying, and the quality of the food you produce, whether it's a crop, an organic crop, or livestock like what we do, the fertility of the soil is going to depict what the quality of that animal is. So before they started really plowing up all these fields hardcore, back in like the 1940s, humans were getting 5 to 10 times the minerals out of their food than they do now. And so we'd have to eat 5 to 10 times the same amount of food to get the same nutrition that they were getting back in those days. And that's what we call nutrient dense food. So when you plow the earth and you're killing all the microbiology in the soil when you plow the earth, or spray it with herbicides or pesticides or fungicides. So the more fertile the soil is, the more nutrient dense the grass is going to be. The more nutrient dense the beef is going to be from eating that grass. And so the more naturally you can do all of that stuff, the more minerals and more nutrient dense that food is going to be. And that's really what we need. We don't need to be eating a bunch of junk from,
soil.
from
So you're
from
basically
the from
saying it's falling up the food chain. Whatever you're doing in your soil is what you're doing in your belly.
exactly.
Right.
So if you're eating bad soil, hey, the soil is feeding the plants that are feeding the same thing that's feeding you. So
Exactly.
go ahead and eat the gook if you want.
Yeah.
Right.
Have you ever, got just say a tomato, for instance, a tomato from the store that's a GMO, genetically modified tomato, sliced it open, and it looks like almost translucent, like it has no color, it hardly has any taste. And then you go get a fresh tomato out of a garden, you slice it open, it's deep, it's deep red, juicy, it's got all kinds of flavor. That's nutrient density versus this junk tomato that came from the store that's genetically modified and then been sprayed with all these chemicals.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to produce, is we're trying to produce nutrient dense.
We're trying to change people, the general public's mindset, and educate them on like what they're eating. And it all comes back to the soil, like what's in the soil.
That's why we're doing this right here, because people need to know.
They need to know this.
About this stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Will you guys ever get any other livestock?
Yeah, we so for 2023 we have in the works, we're going to be doing pork and chicken for 2023. We just purchased another farm that's going on, and so that's the plan for 2023 for we can provide that variety, to the people, not just beef. We want to be doing pork, we want to be doing chicken. We want to be that one-stop shop for all of it. People are eating the meat and we want it all. And so yeah, that's the goal for 2023 for sure.
You guys also work with like a local processing plant?
We do. So we have Bronson Locker. They're in Bronson, Kansas. They are our
Give them a shout out.
Bronson Locker. Hey guys. Yes, they are our people. They take care of all of it, like as far as our beef goes, and they'll be taking care of our pork as well. We'll have to go elsewhere with our chicken, but as far as our meat goes, Bronson's it. They take care of it, and they're awesome, at it. They let us come in there, and they've been generous enough to let us film and see the, inside of it, from us taking that steer in there and then butchering it and everything right in front of us to the end product, that our consumers are getting. So, yes.
And they take a lot of pride in their product, too, because they've been, as a family, running that butcher shop for about 60 years.
Yeah.
Man.
So
They're
it's generational.
They're a small
too,
family ran business.
I've seen the process.
Yeah.
The information you sent over to us.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
made me hungry.
They work hard. They work hard over there. They do a good job.
So we've actually had the honor of touring the farm, and it was a pretty great experience.
Yeah.
We tried our best to get down there. How many times?
Oh, I mean, it was a rainy season, here. I mean, we just kept getting rained out.
You guys made me go buy muck boots.
We finally made it happen.
we all were at Walmart the other day buying muck boots.
Yeah.
So,
At that time, it was muddy. We went from getting rain all the time, it wouldn't stop, to now it's 95 degrees outside, and that's just kind of the elements you have to deal with, It's
still got to move.
still got to do it.
Yes.
Yep.
In the winter, it's
Yes.
frozen, icy, you got
Yes.
to chop the ice.
Yes.
But
Yes.
this is how legacies are made. And the
Right.
stronger we hold in the beginning, the stronger the foundation forms, and
Right.
just makes it so much easier for generations afterwards.
Absolutely.
So like I say, I applaud you guys for even, no matter how it led up to what you guys are doing now, you guys are holding on.
Yeah.
So, but
Yep. Thank you.
speaking of holding on, what was it like going through this previous pandemic out there on the farm?
Well, as far as on the farm, we kind of always did what we did what we always do. As far as the butcher beef business, it made it really difficult because there were so many people in a panic to get their meat, their animals to the butcher, when we used to only have to wait maybe 20 days, 30 days at the most to schedule to get beef in. Now we're having to wait a year. So there was that many spots booked up to where, you may have to call 5 or 6 lockers or take it, 2-3 hours away just to get a steer into the butcher. And so that made it difficult. And kind of during that time, we had some pretty big processing plants, catch fire and stuff.
That's why I was wanting to talk about that too.
And so that, a lot of these smaller butchers had to
take on that business, take that business. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Had to take a lot of workload on to help those big processors out, get those cattle processed. So it made it very difficult to plan around, when you're going to get your beef in, and you had to
try to scale. For us, it was, a matter of like trying to scale it, to the next level. We were just in limbo.
Everybody rushing the door.
Right.
And when that happens, it's just, man, who do you choose? You got so many. You got to choose your family first, your friends first. And then, it's a chain of command, and it's like, they're using that chain of command too. So like I said, my in-laws live out in Urbana, Missouri, and it's crazy down there with their butchers. Mm-hmm. But the big thing about it is, are you guys ever gonna possibly start getting into picking up your own butchery equipment and possibly paying
No,
somebody.
we love Bronson. Like we watch them do the work, and then we like when we went in there and seen what all they do and the equipment. You know,
just easy.
we have a whole line of respect for these people. These are our people. Like we feel like they're family. You know, to us.
They are.
Like
Yeah.
you know,
How long
just
have been doing your butchering?
over a year now. Yeah.
Just,
We just got lucky getting in with them, you know, too, because we had, you know, someone else up by Wichita that we were using, and it was like Tim was saying, we were, you know, oh, can we get in? No, oh, you know, and so we'd just be playing the game, you know,
now
and
you know you can
now
get in.
we're in with Bronson, you know, and it's that line of respect. We definitely have that respect, you know, and that business relationship, you know, with them, but we're also family, you know, because we know each other on that level, you know, now. And so, no, we're very happy with Bronson doing all of our butchering and taking that on. We're not ready for that stress. I don't think, you know, that load. Yeah.
We had thought about it at the time, or we had thought about it at one time.
Before you got to Bronson. And,
Right. And
well,
so
outsourcing is always helps grow your business a lot faster, because then you can concentrate more on what you professionally, you know, what you professionalize in.
Right.
So,
because I mean, like having your own meat locker, that's a full-time job in itself, and you know,
Not
we
just that,
kind of had
man.
to make the decision.
liability.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Do we want to spend our time on the farm, or do we want to spend our time in the butcher shop 24/7? So we'd rather spend our time on the farm, you know, and let them handle that. But you know, we definitely had during the pandemic a lot more people ask us about beef, and we grew a lot of our business from people seeking us out, you know, because they wanted that beef as a, you know, as a security. You know, they wanted that meat in their freezer in case something did go down, you know. So
that's what we're thinking about. Me and my partner's been talking about it a lot. So I'm pretty sure here in the next couple of months or whatever, we'll get on that schedule for that, because we were just talking about it a couple of days ago. His big question was the other livestock, so he knows it's coming. I told him, well, I looked on the website and it's coming. So I seen your chicken. Oh,
Yeah.
this woman's getting me hungry.
yeah,
And I was looking at it last night, and I couldn't eat because I was drinking that stuff for my procedure.
Oh yeah.
And
You done messed up looking at that. Like,
I'm
there's
like,
food pictures all over that website. Yeah.
Yeah, I was, but no, actually, it wasn't that bad. I really wasn't that hungry yesterday. It was just scrolling down that picture and seeing how you guys had the chicken on the website. Now, like I say, your representation, you guys got a good representation.
Yeah.
thank you.
But before I get too far off the subject, I wanted to touch a little bit on your take on the food shortage. I mean, this is like crazy, man. A lot, and I don't like to be too conspiring or whatever. I am a very big conspiracist, but I just don't like to promote that to everyone. You know, just my small group. But man, it's just a lot of coincidental things happening. I have friends that, you know, I told you I'm from Nebraska. I have friends down there that are farmers, and I talked to one of my buddies a couple months ago. Well, actually, it was last year, towards the end of last year, and he was telling me stories like they're making them grow their cattle longer and kill off part of the livestock, and they're serving them with notes, and next thing you know, all the factories are burning down. And I'm like, well, this has got to be affecting all of the people who are, you know, growing the livestock and producing all of these, producing the food. You know, It's got to be bagging everything up. I mean, what are you guys? What's your take on it? Because you guys are the ones that's under the pressure. Now, I know we're under the pressure too, because we're at the end of the chain, but it comes from you.
Yeah. And, you know, that's something that's very important about, you know, being able to source out that, your local farmer and have a relationship with a local farmer, because, you know, when things do hit the fan, you got somewhere to turn to. So what a lot of people don't know is the U.S. actually exports a lot of our beef to other countries, and the U.S. actually imports a lot of the beef that gets sold in the stores and in restaurants from other countries. So a lot of the U.S. beef that people are eating from the store or even in restaurants come from South America. Brazil is a big one. Come from Australia. So, like in 2019, the U.S. imported beef from 18 different countries, and so, you never know where your food's going to come from. And, say there's a blockage in one of the major ports for ships, and like there was earlier in the year, then, not just livestock, but everything. Obviously everything
it was livestock
was blocked, and we couldn't get any of those commodities. So having somebody, a local farmer that you have a relationship with, that you're gonna be good, is very important. So.
That's what's up, man. I like that, man. I don't know, man. I knew a long time ago that something wasn't going on right. I just knew something wasn't right. I tried not to watch TV too much.
Right.
But because I like to educate myself in other things. And you get people explaining to you, oh, you need to watch this more because we're having a food shortage. And I got to looking into it and going down the rabbit hole, and I start finding out that this is just not a Midwest thing. This is a coastal thing. This is a down south thing. Not just food processing plants. All kind of processing plants are going up in flames and weird stuff happening to it. So, knowing you guys makes me feel a little better.
Thank you.
I really feel a little better when you guys start serving that bacon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We've had a ton of people ask us about it, and heck, we can't wait to eat some ourselves. Because we're to tell you the truth, I wasn't a big fan of pork growing up. And no offense to my parents, but my parents used to raise hogs. But by the time I got old enough, they quit doing it, and so a lot of our pork came from the store. And it was tough. It didn't have a lot of flavor. And then Heather's parents actually raised some.
He didn't know what good pork was until
Heather's parents raised some pigs on their farm, and we got some of that. And it completely changed my mind about pork. Like, I'm a complete pork fan now. Like
you gotta make me want one. You guys want it in 2023.
Heck yeah.
Wow, that's neat, man.
It's just like everybody says, it's just a night and day difference when you get something straight off the farm versus get something in the store. So.
Yeah.
So I know you say it is always important to have a connection with your local farmer, and it is important because, like you said, in times of need, you can always reach out and make that happen. But my next question is, how can regular people like me or Mark or anyone normal, how can they get their meat from you guys?
So we're online, and so we have everything online, but then we also have our social media accounts. We advertise our beef on there. We're on YouTube. So we show you
VanLeeuwen Family Farm is on Instagram.
On Instagram, Facebook. We're on YouTube. Yeah. And we have
go check them out, guys.
We have our own website, and so we do a lot of advertising just on those platforms, right there. And then we also run, social media things, trying to get, more of Kansas, people in, and we're trying to get out there nationwide, as well. That's a goal of ours, too. But, we got to start with Kansas, first, and so we have all of that. You can look on all of our social media accounts and our website, and you can just look on there and know that we do beef. We sell beef, and our contact information's on there.
So what's the process of, let's just say today I'm purchasing me a cow. Let's just say I reach out and say, hey, I would like to get a cow from you guys.
Yeah.
What's the first step to the finish?
Yeah. We have, so on our website, if you wanted a quarter beef, half a beef. Like you'll know what you want, like in your head, and like what you want to spend. So we have like different varieties on the website, packages on there that like you can choose to spend, and we'll put it together. We'll arrange a time, we'll ship it, or we'll deliver it local. We have that option on our website as well. Free local, delivery. If you're not anywhere near us, then we ship it.
What about this area, Kansas?
Yeah, no, we have Kansas
Johnson
City.
County.
Yeah, we have Kansas City people that come down to the farm, like Shawnee up here. Like we had a customer from Shawnee come down to the farm, and then we got him half a beef. Was it half a beef that we did?
Yep, he got half a beef.
And so we, we're involved in the whole process from start to finish, like with them. So you can get on our website online on VanLeeuwen Family Farm. We have a half a beef, whole beef on there right now. You could purchase it today, and then we'll arrange a time to get it to you. If you're a local Kansas resident, we're going to get you that beef. If you're further, like hours, like 5 hours away from us, we're going to ship that beef, out to you, but we'll arrange that time to do it. We have them by the cut. So if you wanted to buy just one T-bone, you can do that, and we can accommodate, that.
So you got like packages.
We have packages. Yes.
That's
yes.
neat.
We call them beef boxes. And
Beef boxes.
Yes.
Sometimes it's hard for somebody to
Get a mixed box.
to make the investment to buy a half a beef,
Right.
So
We all just pitch in together. That's all.
Yeah.
Pitch in.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people will do. They'll go in with their neighbor on a half a beef or whatever.
But you guys got a better option. You break it down.
Yeah.
So some people,
That's neat.
if somebody wanted $100 worth of beef, which is, a lot of people would rather be
How
able
long
to.
will it take to get that? $100 worth of beef.
We have that available now, depending on whatever they want. Like you can get it instantly. Like it's available.
Yeah,
it's
so-
available. We're ready. We're ready for it.
So
Yeah.
it makes the average person, they can get a smaller package of beef and they can take it home with them that day, and they're not spending hundreds of dollars on a half a beef, so they can still get our beef in a smaller package.
Man.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the way you guys do your farming and all the other farmers? What makes the VanLeeuwen family farm different from the rest?
Our flavor. And I'll let Tim elaborate on our flavor.
Give it to me, Tim.
Well, it's kind of like we were talking before.
Soil.
It all starts with the soil, but when you see the end product, when you see that T-bone or that ribeye on your plate, you know that that's packed with nutrients, and the more nutrients it's going to be in that beef, the better flavor, the more tenderness. The way we raise our cattle, they're in a low stress environment. They're never stressed. They're never pinned up. They're not constantly worried about who's out to get me today. And so, just having those cattle free range out in the pasture, living their normal life, they don't know one day from another. They're just out enjoying their life, eating grass. They come in, they're getting fed organic grain, chemical free organic grain. They're living a great life, and so that plays a lot into
living a good life. For that taste to be
Right.
on the backside of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, everybody talks about marbling. And so
What's marbling?
So marbling is intramuscular fat. It's the white fat that you see inside the meat, and that's where a lot of the flavor and the tenderness comes from. But it's not just all about feeding that animal until they're super fat and all of a sudden they got all this marbling. Marbling has been scientifically proven to disappear under stress in as little as 6 hours. So that animal, if it's living a stress-free life, is going to be more tender. It's naturally going to be more tender, and have more marbling than an animal that's been stressed out and cooped up and
Dark.
Right.
exactly. So just their lifestyle alone adds to that tenderness and the marbling and the flavor on top of the lush grass that they're eating and the organic grain. And so another thing that we would never use that a lot of feedlots use is growth hormones. And growth hormones, they enable those cattle to grow super fast, and it's kind of just like the big deal with chickens right now. Those animals grow super fast. It actually doesn't allow enough time for the marbling and tenderness to develop in the meat. And so we give our cattle plenty of time to grow. We're not
rushing the process.
We're not pushing them. We're not giving them growth hormones and all this stuff.
Causes stress.
Yes.
It does.
There's stress, man.
Right.
Even if they're free range, if you're if you're dousing them with hormones,
Right.
he's got to grow fast.
Yep.
That's got
They can't move around. They're getting too fat and they can't move around.
It's just it's just nasty meat.
Yeah.
It's like pulling a fat, giant, big catfish out and thinking you're going to put them on the grill.
Right.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
ain't going to happen.
Right.
It's just
Right.
bad meat.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's something that's good. I've learned a lot more than what I thought I knew today.
Yeah, that's
Well,
good.
that's good.
That's what our goal was. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I
I
know
love
if
to educate people.
learned it. I know a lot of people are going to be learning some stuff too. So, but I did look across your social media platforms, and I did notice that the VanLeeuwens don't just do beef.
We do not. We are more than a beef farm.
Yes.
And that's kind of our
Yes.
logo too. That's our motto. We're more than a beef farm.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
More than a beef farm. There you have it. What is this extra?
So this extra is just kind of my side hustle that I enjoy, doing. I enjoy the cattle and all that, but I also like design, and I like that farmhouse and modern look, and so a lot of the designs that you see on our website, like with the t-shirts, comes from my personality. I am a little bit of more of a spitfire, so you will see that more of that sassier edge in the women's apparel and some of the men, as well. We have
she got us in there too.
yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes, the whole family. We have something for the whole family, and
up.
designs, based on our kids, growing up, our youngest started out saying moos, so we have a Farm Fresh moo, t-shirt when he was a baby, saying that. And so it's out there. And then home decor stuff, my mom helps me out a lot with that. She'll throw out an idea. I want a red tractor, make me this, do that, and it just kind of snowballs, from there. So a lot of inspiration is definitely based just around our family. And then we design that. We do all of our graphics and put it together, and then put it on that merch, and send it out there. So
Neat. So so I know you do the cricket too.
we don't do cricket. We have a drop shipper that manufactures all of our merchandise and things like that. And we just send it off,
Ship it,
and ship it off.
Heather
Yeah.
designs it all though.
But we
Every
design it all.
Designs are there.
Every
Right.
design we have has come from
Yeah.
Heather. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
outsourcing.
Right.
That's the way of the
We
world
outsource
right now
it.
because it helps
Right.
you be able to get your dream, your craft, your
Yes.
idea, what inspires you to be better. It helps
Right.
you get it out there
Yes.
Yeah.
without
Yeah.
having to put
Right.
in the extra work.
Yeah.
It gets to
Without
the
a-
customer faster when they put in an order. It'll automatically go to their house, and they'll get it quicker, by outsourcing it
Just
that
like
way.
the butcher shop.
Yes, right.
That's
Right.
an outsource.
Right.
And that's
We can't all be experts in everything. So,
Yeah.
it takes certain equipment to produce this merchandise. And we obviously we're more involved in farming than we are having a, t-shirt printer and all that,
but
and-
you know what? It's
So-
extra money.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
good. A good side hustle.
Yeah.
Bring in a lot of
Right.
extra money and
Right. We just want to be like that modern farm, really, that you can, if someone doesn't want, if let's say they're a vegan, well, hey, we got some merch, for you,
vegan merch.
Yes,
So what kind of merch you got for guys?
Oh, I mean, we We got like t-shirts, hats.
You got t-shirts, you
Yeah.
got hats.
Yeah. It's country, like more of a country, look for the men, but that's kind of
You got
everything.
American flag stuff.
We do. We have an American
we do.
flag with a
Yep.
tractor on it. A patriotic one. We do.
What about any with guns on it? I know people
We do.
are crazy about guns right now.
We
But
do. We have a long sleeve tees, like that say family, faith, firearms, and all that on the back of the tee. Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I know you guys got this stuff. I'm saying it just
Yes,
so
yes,
that
yes.
you know.
Yeah.
Man, it was good having you guys today, man. You guys are a
Appreciate it.
fun couple.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It wasn't that bad, was it?
No.
It wasn't.
No,
No.
man. That's what I'm saying, dude. You did good.
Hey, it helps having a good host. So,
Hey, man, I try to do my best. But before we go, two things. Tell everybody how they can reach you, the farm, how they can order merch from you guys, how they can. I know we talked about how they can get the packages sent to them and whatever, but just give them a little information and they can reach out to you.
all right. Everybody can go to VanLeeuwenFamilyFarm.com, and that's where you're gonna find all of our products on that website. Everything from the beef to the merchandise to our contact information. We do farm tours, so if somebody wanted to come out and tour the farm, look at the cattle that they're about to purchase beef from, all of that information is on VanLeeuwenFamilyFarm.com. And then
Yeah,
Heather, if
we
you
have a
wanna-
contact page on the website on VanLeeuwen Family Farm, so you can directly go to our contact page. You'll find our information, our phone number, our email on there. You can message us directly on there, and it'll come straight to myself and Tim, and then one of us will be in contact. If you wanted to arrange a farm tour or even purchasing beef, if you didn't know how to do that, or even with the merchandise, all that's on our website, VanLeeuwenFamilyFarm.com.
And then Heather's also got all of our social media platforms going, and so she handles all that. I know we're on Facebook, Twitter,
Instagram,
Instagram,
YouTube. We're all over it.
Yep.
Yeah.
How can they order your product? Is it you can order the products from the website too?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
That's right.
Yep.
That's awesome. So the last question is, what encouraging words can you guys leave for our viewers and listeners today?
I think I'll start first. I think the thing like with Tim and I, like we've been running together a little over 17 years. And so there's going to be hard times, and there's going to be times when you don't like each other, and running a business, one-on-one is not always going to be roses, but you got to figure out where your lane is, together, and what your strengths are, together. And so I think that if you can just figure out what each other's role in anything is,
Stick to it.
and stick to your role, then you're going to be dynamite. There's no stopping you. If you can just stay in that mindset that each one has their role and nobody's outworking each other. You're both putting in that equal work. You'll have that respect for one another, and you'll go far in life with whatever, you decide to do.
Man.
It helps to have that support too of your spouse, because believe me, there's been times that I've said, what are we even doing this for? Is it even worth it? And there's times where you feel like you want to quit, but your spouse is there to pick you up and tell you, we are doing this for a reason. We are doing this for our kids. We are doing this for our customers. Our customers are depending on us. Our kids are depending on us. It's our job to keep this farm going for our family and our future generations. And so, just having that support to pick you up when you're having a down day or you're having a down week or a month, is very important. And so, that's what, we keep each other going, because there's been times where both of us, like Heather said, not everything is all sunshine and roses.
Nope.
You're probably going to have more hard times than 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 good times.
Especially in the beginning, though.
Especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
But you get through those hard times, you start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And I mean, it's never easy. It's constant work, but you realize what you're really doing this for. And
it's not about us.
It's not about us.
It's about the legacy and the generation, that's out there.
Seed.
And it's
You gotta water
absolutely,
the seed. You put the seed in the ground.
Yeah.
And whatever you do, you have to focus on the
Yeah.
seed. And as long as both of you focus on the
Right.
seed, you got one water.
Right.
You got one sun.
Right.
And you both just plowing at that. You just
Right.
nurturing that seed.
Yeah.
And it's gonna grow.
Right.
No matter. And
Yeah.
it's gonna be rain.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be storms. It's going to be weeds that pop up. There's going to be all kind of stuff that you're not ready for.
Right.
But as long as you continue to play that role and you concentrate on what you need
God's
to be
purpose, for you. Absolutely. Yeah.
you're going to be the ultimate power couple.
Yeah.
And I got that in my life too.
Yeah.
My wife, she does the same thing.
Yes.
The side hustle. What I can't do, she does, and she doesn't always want to do it,
Right.
But
Exactly.
no matter what, she still does it.
Right.
Even sometimes I piss her off.
Yep.
And when I piss her off,
Yeah.
she could easily be like, "All right, well,
Yep.
screw you," But nope. She say he's going through some stuff, and she knows that it's not intentionally meant, for me to take anything out on her, and it goes the same way. The opposite way. When she's going through her thing, hey, I gotta understand it because she understands when I'm going through mine. So it's a balance.
It is.
As long as you keep the balance, you'll keep it going.
For sure.
Man, thank you guys for coming to the show.
Thank you for having us.
And even though it took a little bit of back and forth, I think it was meant for you guys to be the first episode on season 2.
Yeah. No.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're excited. Yeah. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. I mean, this was awesome. So there you have it, guys. The VanLeeuwen Family Farm. Thanks again for dropping in for another episode of the First Cup KC. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. And like always, stay positive, people.